So let's begin and start to draw out something of your story, Lewis. Now, tell us a little bit about your family life being brought up. How many siblings have you got?
So I'm one of six. One brother, four sisters.
Okay. And your parents foster as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's, I guess, quite a busy home.
Yeah. So we've had various types and numbers of kids, adults coming through. So
Where do you come in the family? Are you in the middle somewhere? Are you oldest or youngest?
I class myself as a middle child. Twins at the top.
All right.
And my sister Lauren underneath. Then me. Then my sister Dion and Jack.
Okay. Well, you're pretty much in the middle.
Yeah.
Brought up in this area, St Mellons. Yeah.
Rumney originally. Then when I was 18, moved up here.
Right. So the family lived just behind the Perrin Marsh, that area.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So again, from your testimony when you were baptised and the newspaper and the men's breakfast, you at quite a young age sort of started to push the boundaries, and you got into smoking cannabis. How did that start, and at what age did it start?
I'd probably say about 14, something like that. I suppose everyone else was doing it, so I gave it a go, and that's how it started. Yeah.
Okay. And for lots of people, maybe they'd try and then they'd stop, but you carried on.
Yeah. Not it wasn't heavy at first, just socially. And it got heavier and heavier as the years went on. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think kept you smoking? Did you say you got addicted to it? Could you have stopped at that stage?
I was definitely dependent on it. Like for example, if I didn't have it, sleep would be an issue. Temper would be an issue. So it was a dependency for it. But yeah, I smoked it so much I just didn't even think about.
Right. That's interesting, because you say temper would be an issue. Now, I've known you for just over 2 years. I think a calmer, nicer, and more pleasant, placid guy. You find it hard to meet. That wasn't the case.
No.
You had a temper.
Well, you never knew, because I never stopped smoking it. So yeah.
Right. Okay. But if you weren't, you could feel the
If
tension
I
rising.
didn't have it, then
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you're smoking that for quite a while, and what sort of effects do you think it was having on you at the time?
I think it definitely changes your sort of social life, who you hang around with, stuff like that, what crowds you get into. I think it just took on your life sort of leans towards crime a little bit more. So yeah, those are the sorts of things it was pulling you into.
Right, I'm tempted to go down that avenue. I won't. Okay, maybe later on. Just you and me. We'll have a chat about that once more. But anyway, you stopped a couple of years ago. Would you say there's any lasting effects from having done that?
Yeah, so I definitely suffer with memory. Tell me one thing, tell me twice.
Yeah,
so,
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people could think, oh, he's a bit rude. He hasn't done what he said he was going to do, but you generally forget things.
Yeah. So don't hate me. Okay.
Right. At the same time, obviously, as you're growing up, middle teenage years, later teenage years, you start to have, you get into things about conspiracy theories, trust issues. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was helping you painting the old house, and in the back garden there was an irrigation system. What was that about?
So few trust issues with like government, Tesco.
Tesco.
So, yeah, anything like that. I didn't trust the food, nothing. So yeah, so I started growing my own. So yeah,
Right.
that's what that was.
And was it successful? Were you self-sufficient? Was it like the good life?
No, it was horrible. Yeah, boring, dull. So
Did you grow anything? I mean,
little bits, but I wasn't that good at it, so
Right.
I went back to Tesco.
okay. Where do you think those trust issues started?
I think looking at these like conspiracy theory type stuff, that's where I lost trust in, well, what you can think you can trust, government and etc. So I think that's where it started. The deeper I got into that, the less trust I had for him. So,
Okay. Okay. So the food that you ate, what other issues? I mean, the government's after you then, are they? And what is it? What other things are involved in this? The water, I guess, as well. What are they putting in the water?
Mm.
Are they putting things in there? Or did you think so at the time? Fluoridation, I
yeah,
guess.
fluoride.
Is that a good thing? Good for your teeth, isn't it?
Apparently. So yeah, all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, Colgate was gone. Yeah, non-fluoride toothpaste come in.
Right.
So,
Your teeth are okay, aren't they?
yeah, all right.
What about your musical interests growing up? Any particular genres you were into?
Reggae predominantly, dancehall, like garage. So
That means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Garage, dancehall.
garage, yeah.
I know music halls. No, it's not similar to that then.
No,
Arthur
no.
Askey and no.
There's only two of us who got that.
Garage.
Yeah, garage.
Oh, you're not about that.
Yeah. I don't listen to it, but I know what it is. Yeah.
Don't listen to it.
You-
Don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Reggae.
Yeah.
Any reggae stars you know?
Bob Marley.
I could go with him as well. Yeah, Bob
Levi
Marley.
Roots.
Who?
Levi Roots.
Oh, yeah.
Reggae, reggae
UB40.
sauce. Yeah. Did you eat reggae sauce? Did you go for that?
Not really, no. No.
Okay, so reggae music. Sports. Were you a sporty person growing up?
Rugby, I enjoyed playing. I'd watch anything apart from cricket. Yeah,
Who's better than Bob?
it is, but it's still terrible.
So you played rugby, what, for a club or school or?
I played for Lambeth North, so it's in the Whitchurch area. So
What sort of position did you play?
everywhere really. I tried scrum half once and it's just not for me. Second row.
Scrum half. So you sit, are you behind the scrum half? What does he do?
Yeah, so gets the ball out the scrum,
Anyone gets him?
offloads it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you play, Tristan?
Fullback or wing.
Full back or wing?
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. They're out of trouble really, aren't they, full backs?
Yeah, people say that, but they make the biggest hits on the pitch, in my opinion. So.
Okay, any particular Premier League interest?
I'm a Man United fan, so yeah.
Your favourite song?
Shouldn't have said that.
That's the candidacy, that's the At some point in your life, obviously, because you're married now, you met Steph. How old were you then, and how did that happen?
What was I? I think I was 18, and I was doing a mechanics apprenticeship in Glenhavron, which was, it's not there anymore, is it?
What, the one down City Road or the one down Trowbridge Road?
Yeah, Trowbridge.
That's gone now. Yeah, that's Eastern High, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was there
Right.
doing that. I met someone in there called David from Penarth, so his name wasn't David from Penarth.
Right.
Yeah, so I went down there, which is where Steph's from, and he knew her and introduced, and yeah.
Okay, and you've stuck with her ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always friends forever, was it? Or were there rocky times for you?
They were rocky times, so more or less it was, yeah,
Love at first sight and
all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
very good, very good. So meeting Steph, right, now then. So all throughout this time, so we've gone through your teenage years, you've met Steph, eventually you move in with Steph, and two little boys come along. We've got Oscar, we've got Isaac, you've got various homes, you end up living across the range, just 5-minute walk away from this home here. But throughout all that period, what Christian influence was there in your life? How many Christians did you know?
None.
None. Okay, let's talk about meeting Jesus. And I know that, you've been a little bit reticent to give your testimony. You don't find it easy. Can you explain why?
It's just emotional, isn't it? It's I think it was only just over 2 years ago. It's still yeah, it can get you a little bit emotional still. So
yeah.
And the other things, the attention. Yeah, I don't like it when it's sort of all on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. We're going to change the focus now then, because it's really all about Jesus. That's what we want to bring out, that he gets glory. He's the most wonderful person you could ever encounter, but you knew nothing about him. You probably only heard his name as swear words. You didn't know any Christians. So what gets you to where you are now then? How does it begin? What you start to read the Bible? Why? What gets you to do that? Nobody recommends it to you. What happens? How do you start?
Well, being into like conspiracy theories, stuff like that, I was looking for some sort of truth. Who do you trust? What's true? But never really found any. But one day it was something led me to just read Bible prophecy. So it was.
Is it something on a website? Was it or?
I think I seen something on YouTube and it just took me everywhere. So yeah, the internet as a whole.
Because again, a couple of months ago, you mentioned some website that you went on quite a lot. What was that guy's name? There's some guy with a website, New Age and conspiracy theories.
His name was Stephen Bankers.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In practicing, yeah.
So you got a lot of stuff obviously from there. And well, Bible prophecy came up. So what did you do?
Well, I just read
The Bible.
all sorts of things at first, but I think the thing that gripped me the most was when I started reading God's law, the 10 Commandments.
Did you look for that in particular, or you just happened to be reading and you came across the 10 Commandments?
Yeah, I wasn't looking for it. It was just something I was reading one day, and yeah, there they were. So I read through them, and it was like, yeah, I might have a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the law of God given to Moses on Mount Sinai. You will have no other gods before me. You're not making images of God. You don't take God's name in vain. You keep his days special. You honour your father and your mother. You don't murder. You don't do adultery. You don't steal. You don't lie. You don't covet other people's possessions. So you read that, and how do you measure it?
Not good. Yeah, I think I failed on every part. So.
Okay. Did that trouble you? Was it just interesting?
No, it's troubling though. Thinking, well, if that's true, well,
Right.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
What made you think it might be true?
Well, it was just it was open at first. I didn't know what to believe, if it was true or not.
Right. But if it is, clearly you don't measure up.
Mm.
So you read more of the Bible? Did you get into the New Testament?
I read pieces of it.
Yeah. What did you understand of what we call the gospel? About Jesus, who he is and what he'd done?
Not a lot at first. Once I heard it, it was like, okay, here's the problem, here's the answer.
Right.
But yeah,
There's no Christians helping you.
no.
Read the Ten Commandments, there's the problem. You read the Gospels, there's the answer.
Mm.
Yeah. But nobody's helping you.
No.
So who's helping you here? Looking back.
Well, looking back, it was God drawing me in.
Okay, let's come to this pivotal point. Then, there was a particular night where it all becomes clear. So you've done your reading, you've been looking on the internet. Tell us about, well, so it was 2 years ago last June, isn't it? Right, that sort of time.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been to work that day, I guess?
Can't
remember.
Can't remember. No. So
It was a weekday, so probably you had. And
Yeah. Well, what I can remember was well, I had a routine of like get the kids to bed sort of thing, and it was more or less 10 o'clock on the dot. Right, that's it. I'm switching off. So I had this like little tray with all the weed on and stuff. So yeah, I'd roll a spliff, 10 o'clock outside, and yeah, that was me till early hours in the morning. So, but this one night, I rolled up, went outside. Well, I think where I said to you earlier about the prayer,
Yeah.
that was before this event.
Okay, well, tell us about that.
Yeah,
This prayer.
I was thinking, you know, if this is true, like, I need to know. So I decided to pray for the first time, and yeah, I just asked God if it is true and show me. And this is a few nights later then. Yeah, I was outside doing the usual routine, and I just started saying, well, it was like, couldn't really control myself saying it, but it was, I just kept saying, put it out, just put it out, on repeat, and yeah, it's like my arm sort of froze, so I couldn't even like lift it up. So then I just, it's like autopilot, arm hit the wall, and I just ran inside and dumped everything and just sat on the sofa like, what just happened? Like, so yeah.
Okay.
That was the night.
Was Steph asleep at this point?
Yeah.
So you tell her what happened. Is this the next day then?
Yeah.
Did you manage to sleep that night? You can't remember.
Not well.
Right. Well, I mean, okay. Can you remember anything of that night? What's going through your mind? You're wondering what's happened.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think. You know, I was just there like.
So you threw the drugs away.
Mm.
That can't be cheap. I mean, they're not. I mean, I don't know what you pay for them, but they're probably not cheap, are they?
No.
You
not
threw them
cheap.
away.
Yeah.
Rough estimate as to what you threw away? Or was it you? Then you were a supply, weren't you? It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right.
It was a regular thing.
Okay.
So I think it must have been about 20 quid's worth, something like that.
Okay. So you come to the next day. You have a chat with Steph. You.
Yeah, I thought I gotta speak to someone. I can't just ignore it. So yeah, I started speaking to Steph and just telling her what had happened and everything that's been going on. And yeah, so I just said to her, look, you know, what if it's true? And it was just like a light bulb going on, my eyes opened. Yeah, it just, and from that point, well, I sort of knew it was true.
So what did you understand at that point?
At that point, I understood that Jesus died for me. And it's not just writing in a book, these things actually happened. Like, and it is true. The truth I was searching for was that point.
So all those years of searching, conspiracy theories and cannabis smoking and all these experiential things going on, suddenly you're talking to your wife, and at that point it becomes very, very clear. Jesus is the Son of God, he's died for me. Or actually, maybe even more basic than that, Jesus died for me.
Yeah.
Did you understand that he was the Son of God? He is the Son of God. Did you understand that he's fully God and fully man? Or was it as basic as, whoever he was, he died for me?
No, I did, you know, I did understand he was God in the flesh.
You hadn't heard any preaching, you hadn't heard a sermon.
No.
You know, you got youngsters here who've been to church, well, as many years as they exist. And there'll be some of you who don't know that, yeah? And God tells you. You didn't work it out for yourself then.
No.
How did it make you feel?
Well, there's all sorts of emotions going on, but small,
Sing.
ashamed was, yeah, just thinking back of the things I've done, it was just like, yeah.
Small, ashamed of the past, sense of relief.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I remember you said to me, and I don't think we brought this up at men's breakfast, that I think, is it that day you went for this walk up near Castle Cork with Steph and the boys?
I don't think it was, it might have been the next day after that.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we went, I think it was my birthday, who knows.
Right.
So we went on this walk and it was just, I was just drained. Like it was just like a weight, such a big weight had come off me. It was just like, and yeah, but I physically shattered. But yeah, I was just thinking, I was just speechless. Like, wow.
Well, the problem for I've got no Christian church going background either, and it was very sudden for me. Problem is, 43 years on, you can get to the stage where you start to take it for granted. And the battle for me is always to keep it fresh. And the battle for you as well. But at that point, such a dramatic change, and that the gospel is true, Jesus died for you. So it must be almost overwhelming. You decide you want to go to church. Now, clearly something's happened to Steph at the same time. It's not just you, but it's you we're talking to tonight. But Steph has been on some of the journey as well.
Yeah.
Been chatting with her. You start to talk to Steph about finding a church, don't you?
Yeah.
What made you want to go to church? Do you think just it's the right thing to do, or?
Initially, I was thinking, well, you know, I was just so I want to be baptized now. So yeah, so that's what we were going for. Really, I still had trust issues, so it was like you don't even know what church to trust these days. So I thought, right, I'm just going to be baptized, and yeah, so we looked for somewhere, and we both at separate times and places found yourself, and yeah, Steph phoned, and yeah, got invited along. I think it was Tim Geraint's baptism, wasn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, so it was Saturday morning. I was getting out of the shower, my mobile phone went, so I left it, and then it pinged, there's an answer phone message. Listen to the answer phone message, and it was a girl's voice, lady. Me and my partner want to get baptised, but we haven't got a clue what to do. So that was interesting. It's interesting. So it's worth ringing this person back. So I ran back, and Steph answered the phone. So I've just had a missed phone call from you. How can I help? Oh, well, me and my partner want to get baptised. We haven't got a clue what to do. So interesting, we've got a baptismal service tomorrow in the church. Come along, it's 6 o'clock in the evening. And she said, have you got a morning service as well? I said, yeah, 10:30. Can we come to that? Yeah. So, it's very, very keen. So you turn up then the Sunday morning. I remember you coming on the back gallery. And Oscar came first, then Steph, and you were holding Isaac, the carry thing, and you sat on the front row. So, yeah. So you end up coming to church, and you settled with us. You were baptised a year ago, and here you are tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think about some changes then. Cannabis. How much you smoked since?
One.
That's it. So it's gone.
Yeah.
Trust issues?
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter whether you trust the government or not. They're not in power, are they? So, yeah, my trust is in Christ alone.
Good. You got married pretty soon after. Why was that?
I just felt like I've been turning my back on God all my life, and I don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah, we got married pretty promptly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Music interests, have they changed?
Yes and no. I still love reggae. The artists have changed. So yeah.
There's some Christian reggae artists, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a few. So,
Good. Yeah, good. What would you say is your main desire now in life?
just to serve God.
Any particular influences on your life? What sorts of things are you reading? Favourite authors or?
So I'm reading J.C. Ryle at the moment, expository theology, and yeah, it's one of my faves.
Cool.
So yeah, kind of see the Bible.
The Bible, absolutely. Christian music?
Obviously the reggae, there's a few good ones. Like there's a group called City of Light, I quite like. Keith Green.
Keith Green?
Yeah.
Okay. What areas of service are you looking at now? Obviously it's been quite a busy period for you, getting into the new home as well, and lots of thinking about certain areas of service in the church, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at like kids clubs, possibly YPF. So yeah, be in that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's come to a conclusion then here. These fine young people in front of you. What would you say to any here who are not yet saved?
But get saved.
How would you do that? I mean,
Well, you've been presented with a gospel. That's that means good news, and it is good news for you. It's what Christ done for you on the cross, so you wouldn't have to pay for what you've done, the sins you've committed. So, what are you waiting for, basically?
Okay.
Yeah.
So get saved.
Mm.
Good advice.
Yeah.
What about those who are saved here? Any particular advice to them? So a mature Christian now of 2 years and 3 months or so.
I was thinking about it earlier, and I just thought, stay humble. Because, especially for this age, like in school, and yeah, just keep in your focus, because it's the influences around you are just so just keep your eyes fixed on him.
Okay, I think maybe you had a verse you wanted to share. And then any questions that you might have, folks?
Yeah, so the verse is in Revelation 22, and it reads, verse 12, "Look, I am coming soon. My reward is with me, and I will give to each person according to what they have done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end."
Thank you, Lewis. Just that urgency as well. We don't know when the last moment comes. There will be a trumpet sound. We're told, a shout from the archangel, Christ returns. That's it. The door's closed. So yeah, if you're not saved, get saved. If you are, stay close. Stay close. Powerful influences out there. Stay close to Christ. He's able to keep us. Well, thank you.
That's right.
You can relax now.
Yeah.